Okay, we're studying the aviation mechanic general subject, and that subject is inspection, concepts, and techniques. Starting with the question, the 100-hour inspection required by federal aviation regulations for certain aircraft being operated for hire may be performed by appropriately rated mechanics and approved by them for return to service. Who is responsible for making the entry in the maintenance records after an annual 100-hour or progressive inspection? The person approving or disapproving the return to service. Which tool can be used to determine piston pin out of round wear? Micrometer, caliper. What may be used to check the stem on a poppet type valve for stretch? Micrometer. Which tool is used to measure the clearance between a surface plate and a relatively narrow surface being checked for flatness? Thickness gauge. Which of these non-destructive testing methods is suitable for the inspection of most metals, plastics, and ceramics for surface and subsurface defects? Ultrasonic inspection. Who has the authority to approve for return to service a propeller after a 100-hour inspection? Number 1, a mechanic with a Powerplant rating. Number 2, any certificated repairman. Number 3, a non-certificated mechanic working under the supervision of a certificated mechanic with Airframe and Powerplant rating. Number 1, a mechanic with a Powerplant rating. What precision measuring tool is used for measuring crank pin and main bearing journals for out of round wear? Micrometer, caliper. What non-destructive testing method requires little or no part preparation, is used to detect surface or near surface defects in most metals, and may also be used to separate metals or alloys and their heat-treated conditions? Eddy current inspections. Refer to figure 47. What is the measurement reading on the vernier caliper scale? Here's a picture of that figure 47. Have a look. And you can pause it if you'd like. Answer is 1 inch and 436 thousandths of an inch. The twist of a connecting rod is checked by installing push-fit arbors in both ends, supported by parallel steel bars on a surface plate. Measurements are taken between the arbor and the parallel bar with a thickness gauge. A mechanic has completed a bonded honeycomb repair using the potted compound repair technique. What non-destructive testing method is used to determine the soundness of the repair after the repair has cured? Metallic ring test. After a mechanic holding an Airframe and Powerplant rating completes a 100-hour inspection, what action is required before the aircraft is returned to service? Make the proper entries in the aircraft's maintenance record. Number 1, in a non-destructive testing, a discontinuity may be defined as an interruption in the normal physical structure or configuration of a part. Number 2, a discontinuity may or may not affect the usefulness of a part. Regarding these two statements, which one is true? Both are true. Number 1 and 2. Refer to figure 46. The measurement reading on the illustrated micrometer is, here's your visual, 2,851 thousandths. How can the dimensional inspection of a bearing in a rocker arm be accomplished? Telescopic gauge and micrometer. Refer to figure 49. The measurement reading in the micrometer is, here it is again, 2,792 thousandths of an inch. Which of the following may a certificated airframe and powerplant mechanic perform on aircraft and approve for return to service? Number 1, a 100-hour inspection. Number 2, an annual inspection under specified circumstances. Number 3, a progressive inspection under specified circumstances. Number 1 and number 3 are the answer. A 100-hour inspection, and number 3 is a progressive inspection under specified circumstances. When a 100-hour inspection is completed, if separate maintenance records for the airframe, power plants, and propellers are maintained, where is the entry for the inspection recorded? In each record. An aircraft owner was provided a list of discrepancies on an aircraft that was not approved for return to service after an annual inspection. Which of the following statements is or are true concerning who may correct the discrepancies? Number 1, only a mechanic with an inspection authorization. Number 2, an appropriately rated mechanic. Number 3, any certificated repair station. In this case, it is only an appropriately rated mechanic. Number 2. Which number represents the vernier scale graduation of a micrometer? 1/1000th of an inch. Refer to figure 48. What does the micrometer read? (304 thousandths of an inch, or 0.3004. What tool is generally used to calibrate a micrometer or check its accuracy? Gauge block. What tool is generally used to set a divider to an exact dimension? Machinist scale. The side clearances of piston rings are measured with a thickness gauge. Each person performing an annual or 100-hour inspection shall use a checklist that contains at least those items in the appendix of 14 CFR Part 43. Identify the correct statement. In this case, I'm just going to read the correct statement. Dividers do not provide a reading when used as a measuring device. During an annual inspection, if a defect is found which makes the aircraft unairworthy, the person disapproving it must provide a written notice of the defect to the owner. If it is necessary to accurately measure the dimension of a hole approximately 1/4 inch in diameter, the mechanic should use a small hole gauge and determine the size of the hole by taking a micrometer reading of the ball end of the gauge. What is or are the appropriate action or actions concerning minor repairs performed on a certificated aircraft? Number 1, FAA Form 337 must be completed. Number 2, entries must be made in the aircraft's maintenance record. Number 3, the owner of the aircraft must submit a record of all minor repairs to the FAA at least annually. Number 2, entries must be made in the aircraft's maintenance record. An aircraft was not approved for return to service after an annual inspection, and the owner wanted to fly the aircraft to another maintenance base. Which statement is correct? Again, in this case, I'm reading only the correct answer. The owner must obtain a special flight permit.